Scientists say about 2 to 4% of the population are psychopaths. And you might say that sounds like a tiny number. But if you was a shepherd and you had 1,000 sheep and they said 2% of those animals are wolves, you'd want to keep track of the 20 wolves that are in your pack. And you'd want to know what to do when they attack.
That's a lot of wolves.
And we're going to tell you.
That's a lot of wolves.
A lot of wolves, and the number of sheep are dwindling every day, man. Them man are eating like kings.
And it's like, yeah, they eat like kings, and the sheep ain't finna do anything against wolves anyway, regardless of number.
They got no weapon, you know.
Regardless of number, no natural weapons, no instincts, no fight or flight instincts, no aggression.
Yeah, you are the sheep, and me being the psychopath is the wolf. But that's what, I was reading this book and I'm thinking, shit, this sounds like me. This sounds like
I know what
But
you're
he did say, and it's the same with the narcissistic books and stuff, they say, if you're worried that you're a narcissist or if you're worried that you're a psychopath, you probably aren't. Because a psychopath's not going to worry about
they're not
shit.
concerned.
They're like, nah, that's not me, straight away. Pause this video right now. Go and read Surrounded by Psychopaths by
Thomas Erickson. And when you've read it, you can join us for the discussion.
Or you can join us anyway, because we're going to tell you all about it. My name's Elijah.
And I'm Joseph, and welcome to the Aisha Library.
So first and foremost, Surrounded by Psychopaths. The reviews are amazing, and someone personally recommended me this book. I actually told them that the best book I've read, or one of the best books I've read, is The Anxious Generation. And I said, you have to go and read it. And we both have already read Ultra Processed People, and he said, that's a fantastic book. I said to him, do you have any books that are on that level? He said, yeah, Surrounded by Psychopaths.
Well, now you have to read it.
So I had to read it.
Have to read it.
And it was very
praise.
disappointing. Very disappointing. I was extremely disappointed with this book, and I think it's not even worth the pages it was written on.
Damn.
That's as far as I would go.
Damn.
There is no practical advice. Unless you're going to remember all these colour codes and all these people, and you're not going to do that. No one's ever going to do that. If you're going to make colour codes, if you're going to make categories of people, at least give them names. At least give them a name. Say this one's, I don't know, Joseph. This one's Elijah.
You know what's funny? Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw.
Give us some names.
That's it.
Red, yellow, pink, green. Like, what are
the colours are the same.
And then to make it worse, I don't think most people fit into these categories. I know someone who's yellow, and I say he's yellow because he loves to talk, and he loves to talk, and he loves to tell stories, and he loves to tell stories that aren't real. But that doesn't mean all the other traits he has.
Yeah, so but remember when the author was like, "I'm red, blue," he'll be like, "I'm red, blue."
And then he said, "I'm red, blue, yellow, green. I'm a fucking rainbow." That's what he basically said.
Isn't this supposed to be the non-spoiler part of the video? He spoiled everything. He spoiled everything.
It's pointless.
I don't think it was pointless, but I definitely thought. I definitely was looking. I was definitely looking like this. Like,
there's no practical applications. And he didn't even go on about psychopaths. He went on about the colour codes.
Do you know,
That's what he did in the whole book.
You've literally said like 4 of my points. But...
he went on about... He didn't even talk about psychopaths. It was interesting when we're hearing about the psychopaths.
100%.
And also, at the same time, I read the book and he said there's psychopaths around. And he said, you've definitely met one. You've definitely interacted with one. And it's like, I don't believe you.
Who? Who was it?
Exactly.
She knows so much. Who was it?
So yeah, I did enjoy the book.
It was a strange read.
There was some interesting things, and it was interesting.
It was a strange read. Yeah. Let me just get into my first point. How to spot a psychopath. Items number 1 and 2 on the psychopathy checklist are glib and superficial charm and a grandiose sense of self.
That's me and me.
I said check and check. Psychopaths typically will smile a lot, use a plethora of large and complicated words, sound intelligent, and have an inflated sense of self-importance or grandeur. So basically, if somebody smiles a lot, wears suits all the time, and speaks like they saw us for breakfast, beware.
You know what, Joseph?
Beware.
I wrote down in my book that the only reason why I'm not a psychopath is because they said psychopaths don't smile a lot, but I must have written that down.
Do you know what's funny? I'm about to get onto that as well, because there was a lot of contradiction in this book as well, but I'll get onto that.
Because I was going to say, because as I said, Joseph, I was reading this book, and it said delusions of grandeur, check. Conflated self-worth, check.
Illiteracy, check.
No, but it was saying like to manipulate people, check. It said
giving away all your secrets.
Massive G, check. I was just like, oh god! I was like, I must be.
This is a weird way to find out.
I was like, I must be a psychopath. So maybe that's why I didn't like the book.
There's a look in the mirror. Damn, I said look in the mirror. Hold on, what's it? Hold on, I haven't finished. Psychopaths are also unable to feel remorse or guilt for those they hurt or inflict pain upon. This, combined with their ingrained belief that they are above all laws, is what really makes them dangerous. And if there's literally anything you should take away from this book, it is definitely how to spot a psychopath with these methods, yada yada.
I thought one of the most interesting things he said, most of the psychopaths are not in prison. And most of the dangerous, intelligent psychopaths are living amongst us. Because he said, only the stupid ones get caught.
Yeah,
the most
that's what criminals in general, to be honest.
Yeah,
stupid or unlucky. Stupid or unlucky.
Yeah.
Because you
but
can
the most
unlucky.
intelligent ones are just living amongst us.
Yeah.
Average heroes,
average citizens, average heroes, average people.
They make the world a better
literally,
place.
Quietly making the world a better place.
It's your turn. That's kind of
Was that yours? Alright.
No, because you probably got a little bit more.
Being a psychopath is great for business. One of the key elements of distinguishing the psychopath is their inability to empathize or connect with the feelings of others. This, however, gives them useful tools to establish successful careers because they are unburdened by their feelings. For example, Elon Musk is one of the hardest workers in the world, and for some people, he is seen as a psychopath. He fits almost all the criteria. He is clever, has a persona of well-liked on the internet, but those who have worked for him have claimed that he treats women as sexual objects and bombards the workplace with lewd sexual banter, which checks the lacks empathy box. When he was accused of sexually harassing a flight attendant, Elon Musk allegedly found it amusing that he was finally able to use Elongate as a scandal name, which...
I can't believe.
And that he found the name kind of perfect, and I went in the meeting, and some guy that used to work for him was like, "So what the fuck?" He said, "This stuff happens on a daily basis with this guy." He said, "Elongate is my new scandal name." That's insane.
I think he got himself in trouble
That's
just so
insane.
he could
Yeah,
do that.
come
Man,
on.
that was
That's
amazing.
insane.
That was good.
That's insane.
That was
Something else that is widely known about Musk is that he's a workaholic. He actually suggested that the 40-hour work week should be replaced with a 100-hour work week. Should keep his fucking bright ideas to himself, innit?
So do you see why I thought I was a psychopath upon reading it?
Yeah, nah.
You see why? Because
100-hour work week.
I work all the time. So yeah, I think the scariest thing about this book is that it feels like it's talking to me. Maybe I'm a psychopath. The book reads, they will lie, cheat, steal, manipulate you, and use you. They have an answer for everything, and they have never ever felt remorse for anything in their life. That's me. There is nothing I could... Listen, I've done a lot of bad things in my life, and I feel bad for none of it. Every single thing, I'm like,
do it again.
some of everything that I've done, it's like, I can understand why I did that. I was in a position where I needed this thing, and I didn't really care about that person's feelings. I don't have a responsibility to that person. Do you get what I'm saying? Fuck you. That's kind of my response. So the book spoke to me in that sense. Like, did it not speak to you in that way?
I know there's been situations where I felt like how you described it, you feel. There's been situations where I've been at work, or I've been at this party, or I've been in this situation with other people, and I needed to do something that could be described unscrupulous. Like, for my own game, not for your game. Everyone's done things. Yeah. And it's like, what you just said resonated with me, because I was like, I don't have responsibility to this person. And it's especially resonated with me in situations where I have responsibility to another person.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's when you can distinguish. That's when you can distinguish. Like, I have responsibility you, not you. Do you see what I'm saying?
doing things to that person that's going to benefit me and this other person.
Exactly. So I don't necessarily think that's...
I'm supposed to do that.
I don't necessarily think that's a psychopathic thing to do.
So I'm definitely not a psychopath.
I don't think you're a psychopath. Based on what this guy said psychopaths are in the story, I don't think you're a psychopath.
And because I definitely have loyalty to specific people.
100%.
So obviously I'm never going to do nothing to
100%.
you.
100%.
I might fuck that person over there.
Yeah, but that's them over there.
Yeah, that's them over there. Whereas a psychopath, they are robbing their own family.
Yeah,
come on. They were talking about stories where someone got they were named in the will, and they got, I don't know what you call it. They got money, and he borrowed this money off this one, saying he's gonna get it back. They didn't. Took 250 grand off this one. Took 250 grand off. Threatened the mum.
These ain't small numbers.
Absconded into the wind.
These ain't small numbers.
Everybody was broke, and everybody was embarrassed, and no one reported it to the police.
And then he blazed off the money in Vegas or whatever.
Put it off his nose. That's what he did.
He put it on black. This guy blazed that money off. That's insane.
It's giving Ben vibes.
Come on, ridiculous. Ben from We Play Games. You know this guy was on different levels, but yeah, that's ridiculous. Like, imagine you just woke up, and I just stole your car, and just drove off with it.
Exactly.
You'd be like, what?
But maybe this is the thing. If we get deeper now, a more intelligent psychopath would have friends. He would have people that
They would chill on certain people.
He
Chill out on
wouldn't.
certain
He would have people that he can rely on. He would have people that he wouldn't do bad things to, because then he.
No,
has...
but I know for a fact there's people in your life that you don't need, but you do good things for them just because you're close to them. I know for a fact, and me as well. So. Do you know what I mean?
I guess so. I have a code. You know, I
you have a code.
Yeah,
a man must have a code.
Yeah, have a code.
As long as you have a code, you have not strayed too far.
Yeah,
you've not strayed too far.
Fair enough.
We all strayed.
Well, you've done well to convince me, because I will convince them.
Yeah, I knew you was going to
at work.
I knew you was going to think you're psychopath.
So
I knew that. You know what it is? Because
you was reading that thinking that you knew.
No, I knew you was going to think you was a psychopath, because like when we was young, people always used to tell you was like a psycho, or like people used to tell you that you have no emotions, or whatever. For some reason, and upon growing up, I've realised the reason is because I spent more time with you than all of those people, but I've never felt like you had no emotions at all. I've never actually felt like that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true. That is, because people will say that to me.
People always say you're cold, you're this,
I'm always
you're that.
laughing.
Do you know what I mean?
But I'm not gonna, like, when it's, I don't know, maybe I just don't react in ways that people expect me to react to.
I think when things affect you, you don't react explosively. You don't cry, in front of people, or like you're not upset, or like you're not depressed all the time, or you carry on, and people think that's I'll tell you
a funny story that happened with us quite recently. I'd say within the last month. We were in your room and we were talking about something, and you was really getting on my nerves. Like,
you was getting on my nerves.
Oh,
you getting on my nerves. We get on each other's nerves. But
you was, and it's been so many years since we've been in that situation.
And I was,
but you was getting on my nerves.
I wanted to fight my way out.
Yeah, you was getting on my nerves, and then I realised you were getting on my nerves, and I just caught myself, and I just kept it cool, and then we kind of just got out of the situation.
That pissed me off, because I could tell he was regaining control. I said, this ain't good. I was like, not happy about it.
You was getting, no one pissed me off.
It was just debate. It was just debate. It was just a healthy debate. It was
a healthy debate about dumb shit, but you was being an asshole.
Yeah, definitely. I was being an asshole, but I was definitely being an asshole.
I wasn't doing you.
The funny thing is, asshole can be right. So I was like, it doesn't mean I'm wrong. Let's find out if I'm wrong.
It was, and then.
It was actually about this. It was actually about this. It was about the podcast. It was definitely about the podcast. I was late. No, I was late. I was late back because I'd come from work and like I hadn't finished my notes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you was just chilling in my room thinking like, Joseph, when are you gonna hurry up? And then I was just like, what
about
you?
Hadn't even done your notes.
And then you was like, what about you? And it went from there.
It wasn't nasty or anything, but it was passive aggressive argument.
It was heated. It was heated. But I have those with my dad all the time. So it was heated. It was heated, and I was literally just like, I wonder if I poke this guy here, how's he gonna react? Let's find out.
And I passed.
He passed the test. He didn't implode and he didn't explode. So he passed the test.
But I think if I was like you, we would have an argument.
What does that mean?
I mean, if I wasn't as in control, because I got out of control just for a split second, and then I realised, and I calmed it down and whatnot. But if I was like you, not to say you're out of control, but I'm a bit more, I'm a bit more.
I think it just takes me longer to realise I'm out of control than it takes you. You realise sooner. I think that's probably what it is. Because like, there's times when I've realised, even at work, that I'm out of control.
Yeah.
Where I've lost jobs because I've been out of control.
Teddy Swims.
Huh?
Teddy, you know that song?
I've heard of it.
Lose control. But yeah, it is my turn.
Yeah, go on.
I'm gonna have to do something very quickly.
Big man, he's baking in here.
Richard, I can see the beads of sweat on your head.
Yeah, I can feel it, and I know you can see it because I can feel it. I'm gonna have to just do this real quick, just so I can't see.
Right, I can see the beads of sweat on your head.
That's done.
But yeah, all right. So it's my turn. Did you know the risk of coming into contact with a psychopath is greater than being diagnosed with cancer? Having a heart attack, smashing your thumb with a hammer, crashing your car, being robbed in town on a Friday night, getting sacked from your job. These are all common things.
So I've met at least 10 or 20 psychopaths.
These are all common things. And coming into contact with a psychopath is more likely than all of those things.
That's
so,
insane.
I think we should get to the part of what to do if you meet a psychopath.
Yeah, because like, none of this is going to matter if you don't know what to do.
This is the thing. In the book, they said you should leave if you meet a psychopath.
Where? Leave where?
If he's your boss, then
you can't
that's it. I'm going to say another one.
Yeah,
because before we get into another monologue. Well, not a monologue, a conversation.
Yeah, I know, right? We fall into
I'm not sweating like you.
Do you know what?
You are sweating. No, it's fine. It's fine. But I'm just saying,
it's baking. It's baking in here. It is baking in here. Hold on, let me look at my camera real quick. Carry on.
Yes, there was a philosophical quote in this book that I liked. It said, "Everything is about sex except sex, because that's about power."
That's actually such a great quote. That's an incredible quote.
Do you agree? Because I've heard women say that having a man's privates in their mouth is empowering because he's so vulnerable.
Yeah. No.
So I only heard that recently, and I thought, I never thought about it like that. I thought no, because obviously as a man, you're looking down. You're not thinking about
birthday. Long day. Do you know what I mean? Long day. Nothing you can do.
It's a short day.
It's not about strength now. That's not all that's short. I'll tell you that.
You've unlocked a fear. I've never thought that they could just.
You never seen Dredd, the movie?
No.
Dredd. You know Judge Dredd, the character?
No.
There's a movie called Dredd where there's it's like set in the future Earth and there's judges. The police officers are called judges. And they're called that because they're judge, jury, and executioner. So police have the ability.
Did they make a remake of it?
Yeah. So they made a Sylvester Stallone back in the days, and then they made a remake.
Not Ryan Reynolds. It's
not. It's Carl Urban. You won't know who that is, but you know who it is.
I think I've seen the remake. No, I haven't seen
it.
But
it was in 2012. They made a movie in 2012 called Dredd, and he murked Judge Joseph Dredd. He murked guys on the street. He's
What's that got to do with the woman biting?
Because that's what happened in the movie. Literally, the woman bit off this guy's dick in the movie. And it unlocked a fear for me. I literally said, that is actually unreal.
Was it graphic?
It was...
the camera panned away?
The camera kind of panned away, but there's blood all over her mouth. And it was just...
I've seen a video with a dog. Basically, they caught a convicted paedophile. And they held him down naked, and there was a dog that...
That kind of thing makes me uncomfortable, and people like call me a paedophile, a defender for that. I'm like, is that not like a little bit?
Second world country.
Oh, is it? Okay.
He's not going to be in a first world country.
Okay, fair enough.
I've got 2 more points.
All right, let me go. Refusal to accept accountability. A psychopath. He's thinking, this is me. A psychopath will never admit fault for anything. Even if they were caught on camera with their hand in the cookie jar, with the cookie crumbs around their mouth, they will deny it. Sounds like me. Babe, it wasn't me, it was AI.
Alright, Shaggy. That's it.
Must actually call me on the counter. So these are the ways in which you spot a psychopath. Like psychopaths, they won't accept accountability for anything. They'll blame you. They'll gaslight you. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll bring up stuff that doesn't really have anything to do with anything. Just to confuse you, just to discombobulate you. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Women do it all the time as well, even though they don't think they're doing it. Like have you ever had a woman dead to rights in a conversation where she has no option out? She just starts saying shit like, "Yo, you got a small dick" or whatever, just to try and
said that one to me.
As soon as like you call her a bitch, you call her a cunt. Now we're talking about why you called her a bitch or a cunt. Like we're not even talking about what was already talking about.
Exactly. The term gaslighting came from a film in the 1930s. The plot was with a human. What am I talking about? One sec. Human. Okay, the term gaslighting came from a film in the 1930s. The plot was where a man attempts to drive his wife crazy by basically screwing with her and pretending that things were absolutely normal and it's all in her imagination. Specifically, there was a scene in which he continuously turns on the hob and she, of course, turns it off. He sneakily turns it on again and the situation repeats. And that's why we have the term gaslighting.
Okay.
And this is why I like to read non-fiction, because the book could be 99% garbage, but still you can come away with knowledge, you know. So he rearranged the house while pretending everything's normal. So imagine, you know, you come here, the camera's over there, the seats are over there. Yeah. You're like, "Oh, you rearranged," and I'm like, "We talking about?"
That's mad. And like you're so straight face.
So if you find a photo on the wall is crooked and you fix it, and the next day you come back and it's crooked again, how many days do you think will pass until you raise the issue with your partner?
That's a good question.
What is so infinitesimally small or insignificant that you wouldn't bring it up and you just suffer in silence?
If you noticed it. If it's big enough to notice, I feel like you would bring it up. If it's enough that you notice it.
So let's say it was just a photo in here.
So it's a photo in here and you're moving it every week.
So you're fixing it every week.
So you're moving it, I'm fixing it every week.
Someone's moving it, you don't know who's moving it.
Oh yeah, someone's moving it. I don't know. I don't know if I would say it. I don't know if I would say anything. I'd probably say it in a joking way. I wouldn't be like, Elijah, I need to talk to you about something. There's a picture on the wall. Like, I probably would just be like, oh, it's really you just be moving a picture on the wall.
If it kept happening, at a certain point, you would like, as you're walking past the room, you'd check in to see if it's straight.
I would probably just stop fixing it.
Really?
Yeah, because I was just like, it's not that big of a deal.
See, because I think that's the best thing to do.
That's the best thing to do.
I was thinking, what's so...
Someone wants it like that.
I was thinking, what's so infinitesimally small that you wouldn't bring it up and you just suffer in silence? And I thought, if your partner occasionally wears your boxers and upon doing the laundry you see skid marks, you can't be sure it's not you. So you'd have to just suffer in silence.
You'd have to suffer in silence. Because do you know what's
that?
worse than seeing skid marks in your own boxes? If you blame somebody else and it was you. Like,
and they didn't notice.
And they didn't notice. And now they know. You snitched on yourself. You actually snitched on yourself. You snitched on yourself. And that's the worst thing to snitch on yourself for as well. It's like, so just keep your mouth shut, big man. And you knew to keep your mouth shut as well. They're your boxes and your skid marks. You saw it. Like, you tricked yourself to thinking it was someone else. How?
Because you're a psychopath.
You must be.
Oh, gosh.
That's peak. That is actually peak. Couldn't be me, though.
But yeah, that's me done.
Alright. How to evaluate a psychopath at home. Dr. Robert D. Hare is a Canadian forensic psychologist who in the 80s and 90s revised the PCL, or psychopathy checklist, originally developed in the 1940s. Essentially, you interview an individual and give them scores in certain psychological categories, with the sum total of the test being between 0 and 40. The idea is, the higher you score, the greater the chance you're dealing with a bona fide psychopath. An interesting point, the PCLR does not work all that well on women. Oh. I personally think that's because all women are psychopaths. But a far more popular theory is that the criteria for psychopathy was devised by studying men and not women. It's the same old reason. People forgot women existed.
You've brought something up that I forgot about, actually. So I did a psychopath test after reading this book.
Yeah.
And it basically said, if you score 0 to 20, you're definitely not a psychopath. Anything under 30, or should I say 20 to 30, they're like psychopathic tendencies. Over 30, you're definitely a psychopath. 30 to 40, you're like convicted psychopath.
The handcuffs are on.
So so previously to this, I did a narcissistic test and I scored with flying colours.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know.
I was in, like, you got away from being a psychopath, like, you didn't...
I'm a narcissist.
Oh,
flying colours. And I was doing click. And, you know, I was kind of bringing it down, and I still scored flying colours.
So that's how you know that you might be above.
So, I am. So I did a psychopath.
You should be ashamed. I am.
I did a psychopath test, and I scored. I've forgotten. I think I scored. I scored 25 out of 40. So it's not.
Yeah.
Too bad. So it said if you're 20 to 30, then psychopathic tendencies. That's what it said. So it's okay. So it's okay. It's not like bang to rats. And obviously, it's a little test online, so it doesn't really mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything anyways. You do an IQ test online, you still have zero clue what your IQ
still
is.
Stupid.
You're still stupid.
But yeah, we need to wrap this up.
Let me do my last one. I've got one more. Is this book about psychopaths or megalomaniacs? Author has gone off on a tangent about how psychos don't smile or laugh because they can't. But I thought the point was that psychopaths have their own feelings, they're just disconnected from yours. Starting to have my doubts about the direction that this book is going. It was all going well up until a few chapters in. The author was telling us all about how dangerous psychopaths are and that we should all be more afraid. Then it seemed like he gassed it up so much he made himself scared. Now he's panicking on the page. Like he went from calm scientist to paranoid basket case at the drop of a hat. In the first chapters, he was talking about psychopaths being people with some kind of mental disconnect. Now he's talking like they're supervillains. You know, they'll steal your money, they'll rape your wife, they'll kill your children, they could be anyone, check everywhere! I was like, what's going on? Like, because at first he was talking about, psychopaths, they have their own feelings, but they're not connected to yours, they can't feel your pain. Then he was like, they don't smile, and I was like, they would be so easy to spot if they never smiled.
But do you know what also? He would say, if a red person's dealing with a psychopath, then a red person should do this.
He's a joke man, though.
No, but let me land. He was saying a red person should do this, a green person should do this. He's basically saying to the red person and the green person to act more like a psychopath. Because the psychopath is in control of their emotions. And the psychopath is manipulating the situation. So his advice is everybody should become psychopaths.
Exactly. And you know what else he was doing as well? When he went off on that tangent when he was talking about, the red personalities. He was like, red personalities, obviously, go and Google it. We're not going to talk about it, but there's different kind of personalities for different kind of for different people.
Misc. It's called.
I thought it was disc. Like, who knows what it's called?
Disc, misc.
Doesn't matter what it is. I looked it up, but I didn't see any kind of disc misc word.
I didn't bother.
There's no point. But literally, all of the information was in the book, anyways. But he was like the red people, with the dominant leaders, yada yada yada, etc. The alphas, be Andrew Tate's, yada yada, whatever.
No, he's a psychopath.
Yeah, well, but that's the funny thing. He said he's red.
Yeah, he said Andrew Tate's red.
No, he said the author said he's red. He said he's red. Then he was like, the yellows are talkers, the blues are the analysts, the detail-oriented people, and the greens are like the chilled-out guys that like, whatever happens will happen. And he basically said, the way he was talking about all of them, I was like, it's very clear that you're biased in favour of red, because like he was literally just like, we're dominant, we're masters of our atmosphere, we control everything, we're the team leaders.
I think he's a psychopath.
He literally said, we fuck all the bitches, we get our dicks sucked every single day of the week. And then he was like, yeah, the blues, they're alright, yellows, they're good in it, the greens, they're chilled out. I was like, what's going on? Like, your side is supposed to be unbiased.
I know, right?
It was ridiculous.
Well, this is one of those topics that you cannot be unbiased with, because if you're part of a team, you're part of a team.
If you're part of a team, you're part of a team.
And you look at life with red-coloured glasses.
100%.
But yeah, he had a nice little story about how he got stalked. On women, and they ruined his relationship as well. Like they ruined his marriage.
I bet they didn't take accountability either.
He asked for it though. To be fair, but yeah, listen.
Victim blaming, is it? That's another form of psychopath.
It's been good, but we have to leave. It's time to go.
Don't bake it, mate.
I'm cooking. I wasn't this black before I started.
My juices are running clear.
But yeah, till next time.
Till next time.